Hey guys, Alan Jimenez here. Today, this is lesson 2 of how to sell a gas station, gathering information. So, if you're in this course, most likely you may have a listing that you have, or you may have a potential listing, and it's very important that we gather all this information first before you put it on the market. Believe me, don't make the mistakes that I did when I was young. I was about 25 years old and just put things up for sale without actually doing any kind of preparation. And I think, well, I know I lost a lot of sales in the past because I just wasn't ready. It really was not ready. Let me present this here. So it's very, very important that you don't jump the gun. This is commercial real estate. You need to be a professional. And if you act like a professional, people will acknowledge it and want to do business with you. And that's what you want. You want to be doing professional business because let's just be honest. There's hundreds of thousands of realtors. They can go. It's so easy to get a real estate license now, and in most states, it doesn't require a special designation or a commercial license in real estate. If you have a real estate license, you can do commercial. So there's really nothing that there's no designation or that's required to sell a gas station. Just a real estate license is, active real estate property or just real estate property in general. So. Okay, the documents you need to get started. Of course, you're going to need the listing agreement. Let's hope to God you have the listing agreement in place. If not, you need to stop everything you're doing, get your listing agreement signed, executed, and we're going to be talking about some other things too. You need the survey. We need the county appraisal information sheet, the entire sheet, printed out with the PDF. Even like it has little boundaries, the legal meets and bounds on a map. Have that done too. I want to get all leases of equipment, any space that's rented out. It's super, super important. All this stuff needs to be gathered. This is your gathering stage. And the owner's not going to have it all together, most likely. I would say about 70% of them don't. It's just scattered. They didn't think they were selling. Something's come up in their life. Maybe even a competitor's coming. They know something. Something's happening, and it's a little bit of a surprise to them that they're willing to sell most of the time. You need to get their license, their liquor license, job or wholesale contract, and the environmental and permits. These are a lot of things that you have to get started. I know you're super excited about getting your property on the market. Everybody is. They want to get that property on the market, get that commission. But if it's not done right, it's just going to sit there. And that's what we don't want. We want to prepare. We want to prepare. Have our stuff ready, have all our things checked off this checklist before going live. In fact, if you do this right, you don't even go live. You can sell this off market, so it's super important. So the liquor license, why is this so important? It's actually super, super important because liquor is a big selling item in a liquor store. I'm sorry, in a convenience store. It's super big. It's super important. You need it. So sometimes they have proximity issues to like a school or a church. So this is a big, almost like a deal breaker. Like if you don't sell liquor and there's no way to get around it, sometimes you can do you can have call the city and see if you could do a special addendum or provision. And you have to put that big sign up in front of the store saying, hey, I am disclaiming to the world and to the neighborhood, I am applying for a liquor permit. And it's up to the neighborhood to stop you. If somebody stops you, and they can, especially a competitor nearby. Because if you get a liquor license, then you're going to shut down their business too. So the listing agreement, if you are a realtor or a broker, then you need to have a fully executed agreement, fully executed commercial real estate agreement. And I want you to have it executed. I want all the things dated. I want you, when everything's done, I want you to send an email to the clients, the owners of the property. I want to send it to your broker and send it to yourself and do a read receipt confirmation that everybody received it. And actually, in the email, I want you to tell the owner, hey, can you please reply to this email and let me know that you received it? Because the reason why, we don't want any problems with the commission during negotiations or even after, right at the sale. Be like, oh, I didn't realize you were getting double at 5%. I'm like, sir, you signed the listing agreement. Here it is. Because I promise you, they will try to get your commission down. They start realizing you sold a $2 million property and you have 5 or 6% or even more. You're making over $100,000. They're going to be looking to negotiate, and the first person they're going to look at is you. And you're going to have to stay firm. You sure are. We'll be talking about that later in the course, but I want you to stay firm on that. I want you to stay firm. I don't want you to flexible. Say, no, I'm whatever you got to say. I can say, well, I'm giving a big precision to my broker. I'm actually paying a lot of taxes on it. So really, I'm only getting X amount. This is a lot of work I've done, and and there's a lot of stuff we're going to be talking about how to negotiate the commission, because that's the first place they're going to hit both sides. It's up to you, but I really say stay firm. We don't want any kind of problems with commissions. Like I said, even before closing or at the closing table, we don't want to budge, and they're going to be looking at you. I know the feeling. So now we're going to move over to the survey and the county records. So the survey is super important. So we want an updated survey, and we want that one where it's printed, it's stamped by the surveyor. And hopefully it's not more than like 10 years old. Most of the time, if it's less than 5 or 10 years old, we'll be okay. But at least that you have it now, and they can order a new survey if it's not acceptable for the appraiser. And most of the time it won't be. But because on a commercial piece of property, surveys can be, $700 to $2,000 very easily. So if you can save that money for your buyer, it just makes things a little bit more easier for them. Plus, it makes it a little bit faster. So these are a lot of things that you're going to be doing. And I want you to master some. First, I want you to scan that into PDF. If he gives you a hard copy, scan it into PDF. You don't want to be responsible for the original, okay? Scan it into PDF, and we're going to put all these files into a folder on the Google Drive, and then you're going to allow access to that to each and every client through email. Don't put it out there public. We want to have it private, just to emails. So you put it. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but you're going to put it on the cloud, in short, and just give access through the emails. Specific people. We don't want this, this landing in one of our competitors' hands, or the owner's competitors' hands. So complete worksheet of all data from the county records. So you're going to master these facts, how big that size of land is, because they're going to be hit you. How big is that? This is the questions they're going to hit you with all the time. What's the lot size? What's the building size? When was the last year the property was updated? So, if they signed a jobber contract, sometimes they'll give them like X amount of dollars, and did they use that to revamp? Put a new canopy, put some new stucco, some new lighting, etc., and I'll put some new pumps. When's the last time it was a major update? You want to have these things, and I want you to know them like the back of your hand. Now, when you look at that survey, you need to look at it a little thoroughly, very thoroughly, and I want you to see if there's any encumbrances on that property. Is there a city encumbrance where 5,000 square foot is for the city or to a neighbor? Is there shared driveway? Things like this are going to come up, and you don't want them coming up at the wrong time. You don't want it coming up at closing table when the survey. You don't want it coming up 60 days down the line. You want it coming up right at the get-go. This is what it is. And just be upfront. There's no way to. Usually, people who are buying gas stations are pretty intelligent. You don't want to wait to the last minute where you spent 60 days with a buyer and you got to start all over. If we get this thing done the right way, we can get it to closing within, there are 60 to 90 days. We can already be paid and get your commission. Okay. Leases and contracts. So we want to get all leases for any rented space. A lot of times you'll have maybe a taco truck or some kind of restaurant. There might be a hamburger, maybe a Wendy's, a Taco Bell. We want to get those leases in place. We want the fully executed leases. And we also would let's not go that far. I was going to say if we can get proof of the payments received, but that's going to be a part of when we are inside contract. Yeah. So we're in contract. A lot of people in this business I'm sorry to say this, but some people are very criminal. They'll put fake leases in place. And so we don't remember this is your name out there, so you don't want to represent somebody like, no, there's nobody here. You don't want to end up in court and they're like, you were the realtor, you represented me as the buyer and the seller, you're doing intermediary, you gave me this in good faith that there was a space here, and then when I bought the place, it turned out to be his uncle, and this is fake. And they just left the day that we're closing. So who they're gonna look at? They're gonna look at you, and then they're gonna go to the broker, and then they're gonna start a lawsuit. And so I've been a part of lawsuits, but good thing that I've always done good business, and they didn't sue me. That they sued the client though. This is a true story. That there was some what was that, dude? Oh, there was a big lien on the property by the jobber, and they ended up spending about $125,000. But they both loved me. They're like, Alan did his job. He just not a part of this. He didn't even call me to court. They're just like, Alan did his best, because I promise you, I was working it all the way to the closing table on that one. So we want to have leases in place for restaurant, check cashing, any kind of third party who pays rent, who the owner collects rent. We want to have anything that, even if they just put a stand in there, a gambling machine in there, they have they have all kinds of stuff that they collect rent on, ATMs, anything that we collect money. I don't care how small it is. Could be $25. That $25 times 12 months adds up because it's free space. I don't care if it's a poster sign that sometimes we have signage where I've seen the local realtor actually want to put a sign in there because it was so busy, and I don't blame them. So stuff like that, things that we collect, the owner collects rent. We're going to put in that. We're going to put it, the reason why we're going to put that in our profit and loss in the Excel spreadsheet in the next few lessons. Okay, so leases for the equipment the owner pays, so the vice versa. What is the owner paying for? So there's going to be coolers, things that keep the beer and everything. That stuff is expensive. You would think they're cheap, but it could be easily $20,000 to $100,000, $200,000. And so he could be paying a payment and financing that. We don't want to go to closing and say, hey, hold on, these coolers are not a part of the property. And they're like, what? This is $200,000. This is not. No, we want to have everything, all our ducks lined up in a row. The coolers are separate. The ATM is separate. Any kind of software, the gas pumps, all this stuff, is it paid for, or is the owner paying a payment? And what's the balance on the payment? And is it included in the sale? You see, all these things pop up, and it's if you don't know, you don't know, so you don't include it. It's like when you buy a house and you think sometimes, the curtains come with it. No, the curtains don't come with it. If you read the fine print, this is not bolted down. The curtains are not. This is optional. So you have to do in special provisions to add the curtains. And this is the same thing with the gas station, except now because of this class. Wait, now I got a checklist. Coolers, anything in here, software. What are you paying? Tell me what's happening. And because what if you're on the other end of this and you're representing the buyer? Now you know what to look for. So it's just, you need this stuff. Of course, even the point of sale software. I got this at the bottom. The point of sale. So he may have something he does most of the time. These in gas stations, they have a point of sale where they have the inventory, and it automatically needs to what you need to order, because nobody's really just doing counts anymore. Well, for the big gas stations that I sell now, they have things lined up where it's like, oh, you need to order this. This is what's selling, and it's these Funyuns are selling, these Cheetos. How much is this software costing, and who's paying for it? Or is it already owned? What is it per month? These leases and contracts, you have to start gathering all this data, and you're going to put that under leases and contracts. So remember, we're going to have one folder for the gas station and the address, and then we're going to have all these subfolders in there so you can stay organized. You don't just want to throw everything up there. We want to keep it organized so that you can refer to it and you can share it with your clients and your the people that are buying it, potential clients and leads. Okay, so this is super important. The jobber contract for the wholesale gas supply. Who is the jobber? You need a fully executed copy, and you read it yourself. I want you to read it yourself. Commercial real estate is complicated. So you don't want to have any problems. I really want you to specifically look for termination of contract or termination of contract or the transfer of contract. If you terminate, is there a penalty? If you transfer, is there a penalty? Do I need to have and approval by the jobber to transfer. These are things that you need to look for, because I promise you, most most of the time, the new buyers do not want to have they don't want to have a jobber contract on the property. They're like, no, I already have a contact with the jobber, and the reason why is because they get paid X amount of dollars, so like $100,000, $250,000 to sign up. So that's money lost. If they understand that, and you yourself, now that you're the realtor and you understand these facts, if you set them up with a jobber, you can earn a commission on the jobber for $50,000. Oh, I mean, yeah, you can make another 50 grand on the jobber contract itself. So if you know the right people, and I'll shoot you a few contacts if you don't know from the jobbers. Look for the penalties. You need the contact info for the jobber to discuss the transfer. You need the exact, who is the salesperson? Who are you to? Who did they talk to? Look on the contract. Who is the point of contact? And you need to make a call yourself. Introduce yourself. Let them know what's happening. You know, we're thinking about selling. We are going to sell this property. Can you give me some more insight about this contract? You know, and is there a new, you know, if I get a new client, are you willing to give them 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, X amount of dollars, because there's, you know, maybe there's only 6 months left on the contract, maybe it's a 1 year. If I can get the person to sign another 5-year contract for this many gallons, can I earn a commission? You disclose it, you just made a triple win, because you're representing both sides and you got the jobber contract. So that's just another 50 grand for you, at the bare minimum 10. So now we're talking about environmental, the phase 1 and phase 2. Get these docs and have them scanned in PDF. Put them under environmentals. This is all the stuff that you need. Don't even think about putting that property up for sale until you get this stuff right. And so you need the environmental phase 1 at minimum, and the soil test. That's super important, because they need to see about contamination. Gas stations are one of the hardest properties to get a loan on. They usually require 20, really about 35% in Texas, as far as I know. In other states, I don't know, but I imagine probably about the same. I mean, it's just super hard to get a loan. Yeah, it really is. So you have to put a large down payment. They like to see some kind of experience level. In fact, I'll even put some of the forms that you need to have them fill out, because there can be a triple win here too as well, doing an SBA loan and acting as a loan officer. And they're going to be asking for these documents that you are doing now. So that's probably going to be a bonus course to do a commercial real estate loan. But it's not that hard. It's very, if you know the right contacts, and I have a list of 300 banks that are, I've worked with over the years, not just in gas stations, but in commercial in general. Then we're going to be talking about the tank license from the city. So some cities will issue a permit date for the tanks. You need to know the following information by the heart. So they are going to be asking you this all the time. It's just no questions asked. You're going to hear this all. What are the age of the tanks? What are they made of? How many tanks are there? What's the construction type? When's the permit renewal date? These things, like the back of my heart. Write them down. In fact, put a folder in there. Just put a nice little Word document or even a note, and just put tank information, and say age of tanks. We have 2 of them. They're made out of whatever. I forgot, what was it? Petroglass or something. I forgot what it's called, but special. The new ones are made out of special, and they last forever supposedly. And they don't leak, because that was a big thing in the past. They were leaking. The whole place had to be decontaminated. You can't get a loan on it because the earth is messed up. We had to remove the earth, literally remove like 24 feet of earth, and then go and clean it and bring it back. You know how much that cost? Oh my God, we're talking about $1 million easily. They do it here they do it in California because the land is so valuable. Wow, I don't think it'll work in many states. Okay, so we need to get that tank license information from the city. Let me put this on pause. My battery is going low now. Let me put this here. XSplit. Okay, so we're back. The tank license from the city. We need to have that information. I want you to put it. I want you to have it. We're going to put it on the Google Drive under tank information. This is going to save you so much time and headache. It's just unreal. You're going to have these same questions answered. They're going to ask you all the time. If you have all this stuff ready to go, you're going to save yourself time. You got a serious buyer on the line. You're going to be able to move quick and get this deal done. We don't want to be wasting time with the same thing. You're going to have 100 questions, 100 different buyers call you, and you're going to say, "Oh, well, this, what's this? What's it? Oh, it's just no problem. What's your email there? Okay, let me docu-sign the information agreement where non-disclosure. Send that docu-sign. I have it here too if you need it. And as soon as they send it, just send them give them access to the folder. Man, you're going to be golden. And not only that, you act like a professional. They're going to be like, you know what? He's serious. This guy is serious. He's not playing around. I like the way he presented this gas station. In fact, it may be 5, 10, 15 years from now, when you're getting all these clients' information, you put them into your CRM, you're going to be able to send your newsletter out and giving relevant information about the gas station convenience store industry. It might be like, new techniques that are coming out, new check cashing, new credit card services that are coming out. Don't try to sell them anything. I don't want you to just, give them valuable information. We'll be talking about in another course about your CRM. I don't want you to be a noisy salesman. I want you to be that person that gives valuable information and it's relevant to convenience stores, and you're sending the news. All right, we had some more issues with the computer again. Golly, triple this. Okay, so excuse me. Let's go ahead and get back to the lesson. Fire this up again. So we talked a lot about getting the license information. We talked about a little bit. We dabbled a little bit with, the giving relevant information to these potential buyers over the years, because you're in real estate for the long haul. You're going to be in this for 20, 30 years, 40 years, and you're going to be able to resell this business when you're done. So you're going to have deal of it. Like me, I have maybe 300 to 400 buyers, gas station buyers ready to go, because I use my CRM. When people get in there, I put them, and I tag them gas station buyers in my CRM, or gas station sellers, and then gas station as well, just in general, so that I can send them relevant information. But that's a whole nother story. I'm over here again. That's another course here at CRM. We're gonna be talking about that later on. Okay. I know you got a lot to go on, but let me see. Okay, we got that environmental phase 1, phase 2. I think that's gonna be it for that. So we have everything that we need. We have a good start here. So in summary, you're going to be getting, let me see here, let me present this. Listing agreement fully executed, CC, BCC, your broker. You're going to be getting a survey, phase 1, phase 2 environmentals. The county appraisal, you're going to have that in PDF. You're going to have the full county appraisal, not the appraisal. You know what? I am going to make a little addition here, actually. Let me put that in here, actually. Let's go ahead and put that here. If you have a recent appraisal, which probably he doesn't, but if he does, that'd be great. We can have the recent appraisal. Sometimes they rarely do it, but because these are not cheap appraisals, they will cost you to about $2,500 all the way to $5,000. I'm going to put one more thing in here, and I think we're going to talk about that too. Is the STAR report. I need to put this in here. Let me make that addition real quick. STAR report. Okay, so let's say, for instance, it's for a present or new or present gas station. Okay, so if it's a new gas station, they're not going to have any data. They're going to be like, well, this is the construction, this is the land, and this is how much it's worth. But that's a little bit of a hard sell. So you're going to need that STAR report. The STAR report is a world-renowned company that generates reports that should give you X amount of dollars inside and outside sales, traffic counts. They're going to base it off traffic counts. We're going to be talking about it a little bit more in depth and looking at it in like a little summary of a STAR report that I have here. We'll use one as an example. But in summary, what it is just gets estimates of inside and outside sales using the traffic count and then using the audience, the people that are around there. Now, if you did your homework last night, I hope you did. You went around to different locations kind of like looked and seen which ones are busy and see which ones are fully stocked. And then if they're fully stocked, it's a good sign. So that's the first thing a buyer's gonna be looking at, how well those shelves are stocked. You know, if they're stocked to the ceiling and they got stuff behind them and it's stocked up, that's a damn good sign that, you know, it's turning over. You know, people are buying. It's a super good sign. So anyways, about the star report, that's something else that you need to collect, especially if it's a new property. If it's not a new property, and we don't really need it. But if it's a new property and don't have a lot of history, you need that star report. That should give us, you know, some information about the sales. Yeah, because a new buyer is going to be like, well, you know, I'm interested in buying that, but you know, or even leasing it. That's going to be a whole nother class too, is turning a sale into a lease. Sometimes it's just better to do the owner finance sale. And we can put that together and still get paid this almost about the same, you know, 10% of the collected leases over, you know, the period, and get paid every year for 10 years, 15 years, we can get a paycheck. So it's the really cool things that you're going to learn here in this course. So I hope if you have any questions, shoot them over to me so I can try to answer them for you. That's your homework for today. And then we'll move from here. We got a lot of things to cover. I'm sure you learned a lot of things from this just 2 lessons. I mean, these are the things that I've been wanting to share with people for the last 15 years. And I'm finally, you know, I've done it before, but it wasn't as thorough as I'm making it now for 2021. So I'm Ali Menez, real estate broker here at HPAgents.com. Give me a call, give me a text. I'm always available to answer any questions. License number 0549644. I'm not a lawyer, and I can't advise you as a lawyer should. I'm just giving you a summary of my experience selling gas stations for the last 15 years. Talk to you soon, and God bless. Let me get to this thing and see if I can. All right, and